back to Our Oklahoma Life. Today we are going to clean and seal the floors. Well, we're going to clean them today and seal them tomorrow. The floors in our shop. And I'll let you know what we're using, how we like it when it's done. This is the same product that is used by Texas Barndominiums. Well, almost the same product. We're using the Arizona Polymer P250 as the first coat, and the P200 as a second coat. Texas Barndominiums uses the P501 for the second coat, which is a water-based. It goes on white so you can see where you're putting it. They are out of stock on the P501, so we had to get the P200. And so hopefully we'll be able to see where we're putting it down, because they're both a solvent-based sealer. But to clean our floors, we're wanting to go for a kind of a soft, gray, fuzzy, cloudy looking finish. I don't know that that's going to happen, but we're going to try. We have diamond impregnated grinding disc that we're going to use on a buffer. I went out and I found on Marketplace, I found a industrial buffer here used that somebody had quit their janitorial business, and the vacuum that they had. We had to put a new hose on it, and the most important part of the whole thing is a driver plate for the buffer. This is kind of like Velcro, and when you put this pad on here, it grips so it won't spin on top of it. But I had to make sure he had this part before I bought it. We bought the whole thing for $150 for the buffer and another $40 for the vacuum. And it came with the driver plate, a scrubbing brush, and a couple other pads that he had laying around. So anyways, we're fixing to get started. We're gonna grind our floor. This is a wet grind pad. So we have to use a lot of water, vacuum it up as we're going, squeegee it out the door. But me, Mrs. Oklahoma Life, and my son, our son, Michael, we're gonna be doing this today, and we'll take you through the whole process of cleaning and sealing your floor. Okay, so here we go. We're fixing to start scrubbing. All right.
Are you just gonna keep leaving that camera around?
Yeah. For YouTube, baby.
Need that spray water?
Yep. Just let it go. Try not to get it on the walls. About halfway through at the shop, scrubbing the floors with the diamond impregnated pad, and we're not getting the results that we thought we were going to get. We're getting the results that they advertised the pad at, but you can see we've been using this shop for a couple months since they built it, and you can see the difference. This is the after. It's gray, and this over here is brown from the red dirt and stuff we have around here coming in and out. The dogs come in and out, parking the tractor in here, everything. So you can see that we got the gray back, which is what we wanted. We're gonna seal it with just the gray, no stain or anything. But you know, we haven't done our final couple of rinses yet. You can see the residue, the white residue on here. But it is cleaning the floor, except for a few spots where we had some silicone and some butyl tape that they sealed some of the building with. We have to go back and scrape those up with a razor blade. But it's cleaning the floor. It's getting all the scuff marks, everything off of it. We just have to do 1 or 2 final rinses after we finish scrubbing it. And we should be good to go for the seal. So now we finished scrubbing with the diamond button pad. And we're going to rinse and scrub with the brush that I also got with my secondhand buffer. So we're going to get to doing that right now. Okay, so after 5 long hours, we ground the cement down with a diamond impregnated disc scrubbing pad. We rinsed it. We scrubbed it with a regular scrubbing pad, a scrub brush scrubbing pad. We rinsed it, and then we rinsed it again, just to make sure. So we got everything rinsed. It is, I don't know if it's looking good. It didn't turn out anything like we thought it would. We were hoping kind of fuzzy gray, puffy cloud looking, but it didn't do that. But it did clean everything. The only thing it didn't clean was I had 2 sets of tractor tracks coming in the building that it would not take up off the floor. I don't know why. So because this is a shop, they're going to have permanent tractor marks in the finish. 2-part kits. This is part A of the Poly 250, and you got to mix these together. You only mix 1 kit at a time because they only have a pot life of about 30 minutes. So you got to get it down within 30 minutes. And if you mix a whole bunch of them together, then you only have 30 minutes. This is the APF 100. This goes on after the 250, and they're both solvent based. We wanted the water based, but there's a shortage of the solvent based. So anyways, we're doing the APF P100. That was rather tiring. 5 hours of scrubbing and rinsing and scrubbing and rinsing and rinsing and rinsing. So, but we've got it ready. It's still drying a little bit. You can see there's some wet spots. It's still drying a little bit, but it should be dry by tomorrow morning because we are in the hundreds now here in Oklahoma. Today was the first 100 that we've seen on our property. We're supposed to stay in the hundreds for the next 7-8 days, and it's supposed to drop down to the low 90s. Yay! Anyways, we'll be continuing this in the morning. I will continue filming us laying down the P250 and the P100, and you have to on the on the second coat. You either have to do it within 24 hours or you have to sand it, and we don't want to sand it. So we're going to put down the P250 and then wait 3, 4, 5 hours, however long it takes to cure with the temperature and the humidity. It varies a little bit. And then we're going to lay down the P100, and then we're going to close up the shop and let it sit here for probably at least 2 days. Texas Barndominiums lets theirs sit for 2 to 3 days afterwards before they let anybody on. Okay guys, we're back. It's the next morning. Everything's dry, and it's a little bit dark in here because we got all the doors closed. We do have the windows open because this is a solvent based sealer, the Arizona Polymers P250. So we have 3 people, me, Mrs. Oklahoma Life, son of Oklahoma Life, and we're gonna have 2 people rolling. We're gonna start in that back corner. We're gonna have 2 people rolling, and I'm gonna be mixing, at least for the time being. This Arizona Polymer 250 has about a 30-minute pot life. We are going to add some acetone to it to thin it down a little bit, make it flow better, and to extend the pot life a few minutes. I forgot to buy measuring cups that are acetone friendly, so we're using Diet Dr. Pepper can. We're going to be putting about 10 ounces per kit, and we're going to start rolling that out. We've got our rollers ready. We got our respirators ready. This is a solvent-based sealer, so it's going to be stinky and bad for you. So wear a respirator, wear the proper respirator. And I'm going to start mixing. And okay, so I'm going to start mixing the sealer. And you want to use a new bucket. You want to use a new bucket from your favorite big box store, and because you don't want a used bucket with all kinds of junk in it getting in your sealer. So we're using a new bucket, 2 new buckets, and let's see. I'm gonna put the part. Let's see. I'm gonna put the part A in first because it's the thinnest viscosity. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that one in first. And we're going to put the part B in. It's a little bit thicker. Make sure 250B. Yeah. Okay, so I got the part A in, part B in. Okay, we're going to mix in. About 10 ounces of acetone. You want to close that because acetone evaporates. Then I'm going to take our mixer and mix this for a couple minutes. Okay, and at this point we are socks only inside, so we don't introduce any dirt into the interior. Wow, that's already looking pretty cool. So in case I didn't mention it before, we have one person rolling and one person cross rolling to try and eliminate most of the streaks and the streaks and puddles and everything. Ready? Bring it in. Okay, so we're almost 3/4 of the way done with the floor. I don't know about you, but I think it looks damn good. Look at that. There's Mrs. Oklahoma Life still rolling. You gotta keep a wet edge on this stuff. So we're trying to go as fast as we can. But this is promising. This looks really good. And this is just the first coat. We still have the top coat to go. It's almost 100 degrees outside. It's even hotter in here. It's even hotter when you're wearing one of these. But this stuff is pretty toxic, so if you do decide to go with the solvent-based Arizona polymer sealers, make sure you wear the appropriate face mask or respirator. So anyways, we're going to get back to it. We're about 3/4 of the way done, and we should be able to finish up here in about 15 minutes and wait for it to dry 3 or 4 hours before we put on the next coat. Okay, guys, the first coat is down, and get a load of this. Look at that. Okay, guys, our first coat's dry. It's been only about 3 hours, and it's totally dry. Well, still needs to cure some, but it looks great for the first coat. You can see. So we're fixing to put on the P100, the second coat. guys, this is Mike Hayes with Our Oklahoma Life, and this is a conclusion of our sealing our concrete floors in our shop project. Was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it over having somebody else do it. Is it perfect? No. A few tips. Buy the water-based P501 for the second coat. The P100 that we used is clear just like the first coat, and it's easy to miss little spots. We have a few spots where we didn't get full coverage on the second coat, and unfortunately, if you wait more than 24 hours, you have to sand the whole floor, mop it, clean it, and then recoat it. We do have enough product to recoat it, but this is a shop, so we're not going to recoat it. We're going to buy the water-based P501 for the house when we do the house, for the barn dome. A few things. The product we used was Arizona Polymers P250 as a base coat and P100 as a top coat. And there are some special tools that you need, and I'll show you those real quick. Well, let me show you the product first. So these are empty cans because we've already done a floor, but this is the Arizona Polymer P250, and it is a solvent-based sealer. This isn't the Rust-Oleum stuff you buy at Home Depot or anything. I don't know if this means anything, but it says for industrial use only. Lots of companies use this on the floors in their warehouse. It is flammable. It is a solvent-based product, so you must wear a respirator. This is the Arizona Polymers P100, and Part A and Part B. Both these have a Part A and Part B. This is also a solvent-based sealer, so you need to wear your respirator and protective equipment. We did thin these down with about 10 ounces of acetone to make them flow better, to extend the pot life. We've been in the hundreds for the last couple days here in Oklahoma, and this stuff is supposed to have a pot life of about 30 minutes. We found it was more like 20-25 minutes with the heat and the humidity. So the only thing you need to put it down, you need clean buckets. You don't want to get any dirt or garbage, whatever, in your sealer. You need clean buckets, so we use new buckets. And I found this out firsthand, that use clean buckets for the P250 because you have to let it dry 3, 4, 5 hours, and then use a new set of clean buckets for the P100. The P100 actually started taking off the dried P250 off the edge of the buckets, so we wound up having to scrap about half a kit of P250. Other than that, you need basic lint-free paint rollers, paint roller sticks, a mixing paddle for a drill, some acetone. You have to figure out, we didn't even use a gallon for all the coatings. We didn't use near as much as the instructions say that you would use. We were told by the distributor that we would need 7 kits for the base and 7 kits for the top coat. We wound up using 4 or 5 for the base coat and only 3.5 for the top coat. So we could have saved a lot of money there. That probably would have brought the cost down to about $1,500. As it was about $2,000. All the product that we bought, but we could have cut that down to about $1,500 if we would have just bought less. But that being said, if you don't have enough and you have to stop short and go get some more, and it's more than 24 hours, you're gonna have to sand it and reapply, because after 24 hours, you have to scuff the top, the layer that you've already put down, so you can put another coat on. One of the things that we also bought was, this is all these little dots are diamond impregnated. This actually, the whole pad is diamond impregnated. This did a good job of taking off everything, scuff marks. The only thing it didn't take off was some tire tracks from my tractor. We couldn't get those off to save our lives. And I don't know if it was the oils and the rubber or whatever. It's a brand new tractor, but it wouldn't take those off. This took off all the scuff marks. It took off all the pencil marks, pen marks. It took off all the dirt. Our floor, you'll see in the video, our floor looked brown. And by the time we got through scrubbing it with this, it was gray again. So, and another thing you'll need is a buffer. And you can rent one like this. This is an industrial buffer. I bought this off of Amazon Marketplace from a guy that was quitting the janitorial business. And I bought this and his vacuum. The vacuum worked okay. We squeegeed most of it out the door when we were cleaning the floors. But this buffer worked really good. It cost me 150 bucks off of Amazon Marketplace. Home Depot wanted 80 bucks to rent it for a day. So we still have a couple more houses to build, my son's house, possibly my mother's house. So we'll use this again. It was 150 bucks well spent. I also paid him another 30 or 40 for the vacuum that he threw in with it. There is a driver plate for this. It's like a driver plate that's kind of like this. It's outside actually. And it's got this Velcro stuff without the bristles. And that driver plate is kind of like Velcro. And when you stick this pad on there, it sticks to it and won't let it slip underneath the buffer. The process that we used was we went over the whole floor. This is a wet sanding disc. We went over the whole floor with this disc, a lot of water with the buffer, and squeegeed most of it out the door. And we used the vacuum around the edges and inside the walls. We got a little bit of water inside the walls. Then we came back and used the scrubber brush, this one on the buffer, and we scrubbed the whole thing, flooded it with water, scrubbed the whole thing, and squeegeed all that out the door, vacuumed around the edges and around inside the walls. And then we came back and rinsed the whole thing again, squeegeed all that out the door, vacuumed around the edges, and just to be safe, we rinsed it again, squeegeed it all out the door, vacuumed around the edges. So in total, we cleaned it 4 different times, or cleaned it twice and rinsed it twice. And it took us about 5 hours. Of course, the first 100 degree day we've had here, and we decided that wasn't bad, cleaning the floors because it was wet. It was the breeze blowing. It was kind of cool. The second day when we put down the sealer, that was hot. The doors were closed because we didn't want wind blowing the dirt in or anything. We were wearing respirators. It was hot. We were wearing respirators like this one. This is a solvent-based sealer, so you need to get the appropriate respirator that matches the compounds in your sealer. So we had 2 of these for the people that were rolling. Most of the time, my son was outside mixing them. They only have a pot life of about 30 minutes. So he was mixing it, and when we got down to about 25-30% left, I would yell at him to mix another kit, and we just kept doing that until we had the whole floor coated. So would we do it again? Absolutely. Would we pay more attention to some of the details and buy the water-based P501? Absolutely. It is really hard to see your lines when you're doing clear over clear. So I would absolutely do it again. We did this in the shop as kind of a test run before we do the house. We are also going to stain the concrete in the house. I don't mind the look of bare concrete sealed. My wife didn't like it too much, but it was an experiment in the shop to see if we actually liked it. I like it, she doesn't, so we're staining. So we're gonna stain like a gray, kind of a cloudy gray with some black in it over in the house. But will we do it again? Absolutely. Was it hard work? It wouldn't have been so hard if it wasn't so hot. All in all, it took us about 5 hours to clean it. It took us about an hour and a half to do the first coat, and we had to wait about 3.5, 4 hours for it to dry, and then about an hour and a half to do the second coat. So 2 days. We did let it sit for 2 days before we opened it back up and started walking on it, just to let it cure. And it's cured. It's hard, and it does show dusty footprints and stuff, but that's to be expected with a high gloss floor. The dogs haven't been in here yet, so I'm sure there'll be dog prints all over the place. But let me give you a peek at what it looks like. So let me start here. So this is the floor, and you can see it off that way. So you can see it's shiny, it's new. Whether it holds up or not, I don't know. Hopefully for the price, it holds up better than the Rust-Oleum stuff at Home Depot or Lowe's. I don't know. But we are happy with it. We're happy that we did it ourselves, because it was thousands more to have somebody else do it. Somebody commented, well, why didn't you do polished concrete, ground polished concrete? And we considered that, but the cheapest quote we got for the Barndominium was almost $8,000. The cheapest quote we got for the Barndominium was almost $14,000. For the cheapest quote we got for the shop was almost $8,000. So we would have had almost $20,000 in the floors. And yes, polished ground concrete is great. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it in companies and whatever. It's just really expensive. This cost us about $2,100-$2,200 with all the safety equipment, rollers, the roller handles, stuff like that. Just the stuff you have to buy when you're painting. So it cost us about $2,100-$2,200 in materials, and 2 days worth of our time, another 2 days to let it cure. And we're happy with it, and it didn't cost us $20,000. We'll see how long it holds up, or how well it holds up. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you get notified when we do upload videos. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.